right, for part 2, I will begin to study each individual symbol that has been moving with the market. I'm going to start with Apple. However, Apple actually began with its market top back in December. And as Apple moved, wave 1 ended 21 January, wave 2 topped with the market around 25 February, and basically wave 3 thus far has been moving down with the market. So this is most likely with the tariff and technology news that have been going on. So what we're trying to focus on is wave 4. It will be interesting to see if wave 4 stays with the market, because it did bottom around 8 April, one day after the market did. And so far it's been moving up and down as the market does as well. So I'm going to zoom into that particular area for now. And using the same concepts that I went over in part 1 of my video series this evening, on the far right, I have my wave 3 movement. So wave 3 basically dropped from 250 down to 169. 250 was back here at the high on 25 February. And then I've taken my wave A and marked 100% of its movement. That would be this next column here. And we have some of the lines overlapping. And then the last thing I did is I marked where wave 5 is inside of wave C, just like I showed on SPY. And believe that wave 3 lasted from 198 and it moved up to 211. So what we're looking at now is where could wave 5 end and when. When it comes to durations, we talked about wave 3 cannot be the shortest. In this case, wave 3 is already longer than wave 1. So in trying to determine what will wave 4 and wave 5 do, we don't have that assist with us right now. So we'll continue to take a look at how things have moved. So wave 1 was relatively fast when it comes to trading hours. Wave 1 lasted about 8 hours. Wave 3 lasted longer. This is most likely our extension wave. Part of my modified wave theory is that in every 5-wave series, I believe at least one of the waves is a extended version. Basically, you can find 9 waves inside of that one 5-wave period. And you should only see that once. So if wave 3 use the extension for our current situation, wave 5 will most likely be on the shorter end of things. So wave 1 lasted about 6 to 8 bars. Wave 5 will probably do something different. Right now I'm tracking the index to most likely top somewhere around Tuesday, maybe early on Wednesday. We'll see how things work out. So what I'm trying to do is, if I place wave 4 in that rough time frame, I'm trying to find all my lines that line up. So 50% of wave 3's retracement is here at 209. And then let's see, our next level here is 212. So here's our first one that actually lines up across all 3 charts. It's 219, 219, and 218 to 219. So I think that's a realistic move to maybe top here around 219 within the next couple trading hours, maybe next 8 trading hours. So that includes Tuesday and a piece of Wednesday. So I'll place that there. Once that occurs, the next thing that should happen is we drop down into wave 5. I still have my wave 3 extension up here on the chart, and it drops down to try to place wave 5. Like I mentioned before, wave 5 should drop below wave 3. In that case, we need to drop from 219 to at least 169. That sounds significant, but we've actually done faster with the wave 3. So it's definitely not impossible, especially with the volatility and the news being what it has been. We can definitely see another drop. The next level is 157, followed by 150. So I'm going to place these lines down here. Place the marker down here, and we'll come back and evaluate this going forward as 5 starts to play itself out through its 5 waves. I am going to drag in. So here's some of the levels, how I mapped them out. So the first thing I talked about is my wave 3 retracement. I said it could probably go 62% or 76% of what wave 3 did, and that's what wave 4 can do first. Those 219s that I called out, so wave A has a 219 as a possible reversal point, and another 219 here at the 150 and 161% extensions. So that's why I highlighted 219. I believe 219 is our potential top for Apple. We'll see how it plays out. After that, in trying to determine what wave 5 can do, I like the levels at 100%, 114%, and 123%. Those are all down here at the bottom. And then I highlighted as our potential movement 157 for our low. That coincides with 114, so that's actually this bar right here. And what does that look like? So if we drop from 219, the projected top, to at least where 3 ended, we're talking about a 22% drop. Now, that may sound steep, especially if it is in a short amount of time, but that's no stranger to what Apple has been doing. So if we go back and look at waves 1 and 3, Apple has already done some similar moves. These are just going to be rough estimates, but he dropped 15% for the first one, and then wave 3 dropped roughly 32%. So if we've already dropped that in short periods of time, talking about a minimal drop of 22%, more toward my drop of 28%, that's definitely possible. Most likely have to do with tariffs or some sort of technology or phones or whatever. But we'll see what the catalyst is in the coming days. So that's what I have for Apple. I am now going to move on to my next symbol, and we'll go to Analog Devices, ADI. And I've already got my waves plotted out here. This topped with the market back around 19 February. In this case, it was 20 February. I've got my primary waves of 1, 2, 3, and 4, my blue circles. And then I've plotted out what wave 4 has done so far. I also have my lengths, so I like to measure them in half hours because that's a more specific measurement. So wave 1 was 203 half hours, and then wave 3 is now short at 104 half hours. So taking that theory that wave 5, when it does begin, can be no longer than 104 half hours, that gives us a good determination of where wave 5 could end up. So we'll keep track of that number, and 56 hours is what those 104, what was our 103? 104 half hours. So it doesn't quite line up, but that's all right. It's 104 half hours. We'll get to that in a second. Taking our levels, looking for where our levels agree. So the far right is our retracement of wave 3's movement, and then we get into wave A is that middle column, and then the fifth wave is this other one. Actually, I'm sorry. A is the left column. Wave 5 determination is the middle column. So looking for where things start to line up, we have some agreement here at 201. We have another grouping at 203 and 204. We have one where all three of them kind of come together here around 207. And then the last one looks like as high as we can go is 214 because wave 4 cannot end where wave 3 began or higher. So my target right now, I'm going to drag this back in. So my wave 4 tops are here at the top of the one note. And it looks like I called out around 200 is my top. And I called that out down here at my projected top. So I'm looking at it to top around 200. And we do have a time limit for what wave 5 can do. If the market tops on 30 April around 11 Eastern time, then the max bottom, that 104 half hours later, falls on 12 May at 1100 hours. So we're looking at a fairly quick drop. And once again, I look at my extensions for wave 5, and we have to drop below at least 158. 114% would be at 150, and then the 123% would be at 145. What does that look like? Once again, if we at least drop from our high of 200 back down to our wave 3 bottom, that would be 158. We're looking at a 20% drop. Now that might seem like a lot, especially in a constrained time, but we've done it before, and just like I showed with Apple, it's easily possible to do again. I'm targeting more of that 114%, which would put our bottom around 150. That would be nearly a 25% drop from that top of 200. And then the next level beyond that would be a 27% drop. I mean, we're talking significant values, but in a short period of time. After this, we should begin to move higher for longer. And we'll see how that plays out when it does occur. All right, so after ADI, we're going to go to Amazon, AMZN. And same concept, zoom out so you can see the 1 hour chart. I have all my values plotted. All right, so this time my wave 3 is this leftmost column. Wave A is the right column, and then wave 5 is the middle column. In this case, wave 1, as I have it marked right now, was 201 bars long. Wave 3 was shorter at 62 hours, trading hours. That means wave 5 is restricted to 62 trading hours in that case. Let's convert this to our half hours. It's actually 115 half hours. All right, so how does that play out? Where do our levels line up? We have to get above 192, so we'll start looking at levels above that. I have 194, 195. Okay, here's 195 on 2 of the markers, and then 196, 197s, 198s. Our first grouping here is around 199 and 200 for Amazon. That might be a little high, especially if we're already in the early stages of wave 5, and wave 3 was our extension wave. But it's a top to keep in mind. I think a more reasonable top would be around the 194 area. And so that is what I have called out as my potential top right now. Bring this back in. Wave 3 retracements. The key levels were 189, 195, 199. Wave A levels, 188, 192, 197. And then wave 3 extension, I had something in common here at 194, so I'm going more with the 194. I think that's more realistic in the time frame allotted, especially because Amazon's been trading up and down with the market. So if it's going to stay in line with the market topping based on the symbols that we've seen so far, it'll probably top within the next day and a half or so. After that, we're going to look at our wave 5. Where's our target? And we'll zoom out, come down here to our extension levels. Once we top, if we do top at 194, we need to drop to at least wave 3's bottom. That was down at 161. Next was 154, and then 123% would be 150. I believe that 150 is possible. Also, the thing to remember is our time frame. I will take our 115 and drag it so we have our reference. So let's say we end somewhere early in trading on Wednesday. Wave 5 needs to end by, looks like next Tuesday as well. So if he comes down here to what I call 114, I figure that's a rather safe area. He should bottom around 154 on or before next Tuesday. Once again, as wave 5 starts to play out, we'll be able to adjust this, move him most likely left a little bit, maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower. But we'll get to that when the time comes.